Welcome today. We delve into the extraordinary bond between Jack and Professor Marr. Two souls destined to change each other's lives forever. Jack, a curious young man with a thirst for adventure, stumbled upon an ancient book filled with mythical stories. Intrigued, he sought out Professor Marr, a passionate historian known for her deep knowledge of folklore. Their first meeting sparked an instant connection, as they shared tales of legendary heroes and hidden realms. As they explored these enchanting narratives together, Jack found inspiration to pursue his dreams, while Professor Marr rediscovered her own passion for storytelling. Their discussions transformed into a journey of self-discovery, where Jack learned to embrace his creativity, and Marr rekindled her love for teaching. Through their friendship, they not only uncovered the magic within the stories but also within themselves. Their lives intertwined, reminding us that sometimes the most profound connections can lead to the most remarkable transformations. Thank you for joining us on this inspiring journey. If you enjoyed this story, consider following us for more uplifting tales. The Mysterious Bond: How Jack and Professor Marr Changed Each Other's Lives. Jack and Professor Marr soon realized that their meeting was no accident. Every conversation peeled back layers they had hidden from the world. Jack, with his restless energy and bold questions, pushed Marr to see possibilities beyond her research. Marr, with her sharp mind and quiet determination, taught Jack the power of patience and focus. One stormy evening, while working late in the lab, they stumbled upon a discovery that neither of them could have imagined. It wasn't just a breakthrough in science, it was a reflection of their own growth. The discovery symbolized how two seemingly different people, when combined, could amplify each other's strengths and confront their weaknesses. But transformation wasn't easy. Jack's impulsiveness clashed with Marr's meticulous methods, leading to heated arguments. Yet, each conflict forced them to confront their fears: Jack's fear of failure, Marr's fear of being alone. Slowly, a deep respect and trust formed, something neither had experienced before. By the time the project ended, they were no longer just mentor and student, they were partners in every sense, having reshaped not only each other's lives but also the world around them. The bond they forged became a testament to the power of connection, courage, and the unexpected ways life can change when two souls meet at exactly the right moment. Weeks turned into months, and Jack and Professor Marr's bond grew stronger, though neither would have admitted it at first. What began as curiosity had evolved into a profound connection, one that transcended words and even logic. One late night, Jack stayed behind in the lab, staring at the equations sprawled across the chalkboard. Marr noticed his furrowed brow and, for the first time, stepped closer, not as a mentor, but as someone who truly understood. "You're overthinking it," she said softly. "Sometimes the answer isn't in the numbers, it's in what you're afraid to see." Her words hit Jack like a lightning strike. He had spent so long avoiding his own fears, thinking they made him weak. Marr showed him that strength wasn't the absence of fear, it was facing it together. Their collaboration soon attracted attention. A breakthrough they made could revolutionize their field, but with recognition came pressure. Rival scientists, media scrutiny, and internal doubts threatened to pull them apart. Yet, every obstacle became a testament to their partnership. Where Jack lacked precision, Marr supplied clarity. Where Marr doubted herself, Jack offered courage. In those moments of shared struggle, laughter, frustration, and discovery, they realized something extraordinary. This bond wasn't just about science or achievement, it was about life itself. They had changed each other, yes, but more than that, they had unlocked parts of themselves they didn't know existed. And in the quiet glow of the lab, as the city slept outside, Jack looked at Marr and whispered, "We've done more than change the world. We've changed each other." The breakthrough they had achieved brought more than recognition, it brought choices. Invitations to conferences, offers from private labs, even international collaborations flooded in. But with every opportunity came tension. Jack wanted to explore the world, to take risks and chase ideas beyond the lab. Marr, cautious and meticulous, feared that rushing could unravel everything they had built. One evening, under the dim light of the lab, a heated debate erupted. "You can't just leave," Marr said, frustration etched on her face. "We're on the brink of something bigger than either of us." Jack shook his head, a determined fire in his eyes. "And maybe that's exactly why I have to go. To see what's out there, and to see who I really am." For a moment, silence hung between them, heavy and suffocating. Then, Mara did something she had never done before. She smiled, a mix of pride and sadness. "Then go," she whispered. "But promise me this, don't lose yourself along the way." The days that followed were filled with absence and longing. Yet, even apart, the bond between them remained unbroken. Letters, late-night calls, and shared research kept their connection alive. Each discovery Jack made echoed Mara's teachings, and every insight Mara achieved carried the spark of Jack's daring spirit. Months later, a chance encounter at a global summit would force them to confront not only their past decisions but also the unspoken feelings that had grown between them. They had changed each other's lives in ways neither had anticipated, and now, the question remained, could they face the future together, stronger than ever? When Jack returned from his travels, he was no longer the impulsive young man who had first entered Mara's lab. The world had tested him, and he had faced failures, risks, and unexpected triumphs. Mara, too, had grown. Her research had progressed in ways she hadn't imagined. But she had felt the void of his absence more deeply than she cared to admit. Their reunion wasn't grand or cinematic, it was quiet. In the lab where it all began, Jack appeared at the doorway, holding a worn notebook filled with sketches, ideas, and discoveries from his journey. Mara looked up from her work, her expression a mixture of relief, surprise, and something more she refused to name. "You really did it," she said softly, studying the notebook. Jack smiled, a little weary, a little triumphant. "We did it," he corrected. "You taught me how to see the possibilities. I just took them further." Over the following weeks, they worked side by side, blending their experiences, their knowledge, and their hearts into something greater than either could achieve alone. They faced new challenges, yes, but now they did so with unwavering trust in each other. It became clear that their bond wasn't just about mentorship or friendship, it was about transformation. Jack had pushed Mara to take risks, to embrace change, and to open her heart. Mara had given Jack the patience, insight, and courage to grow into the person he was meant to be. In the end, their story wasn't just about discovery, it was about the mysterious, inexplicable power of human connection. A bond that changed lives, ignited possibilities, and proved that sometimes, meeting the right person at the right moment can alter the course of your entire life. And as they looked at the lab they had transformed together, both knew one thing: this was only the beginning. The breakthrough they had achieved together had drawn attention from every corner of the scientific world. Invitations, accolades, and awards were pouring in, but for Jack and Mara, the real reward was far more personal. They had discovered something neither could have anticipated: the depth of their bond and the extraordinary impact they had on each other's lives. One evening, as the lab hummed quietly with machines and glowing screens, Jack stopped mid-step, looking at Mara. "Do you ever wonder, what if we'd never met?" he asked. Mara paused, her hand hovering over her notes. A faint smile touched her lips. "I try not to think about it," she said softly. "Because if we hadn't, I don't think either of us would have become who we are today." Jack stepped closer. "I've learned more than I ever imagined," he admitted. "Not just about the world, but about myself. And it's because of you." Mara looked into his eyes, and for the first time, she let herself feel the truth she had kept buried. "And I because of you," she whispered. Their laughter echoed through the lab, blending relief, joy, and the thrill of discovery. It wasn't just scientific triumph that they celebrated, it was the realization that some bonds defy reason, expectation, and even fear. As the city lights glittered outside, they knew their journey was far from over. Together, they had faced doubts, obstacles, and the unknown, but now, they had something stronger than any theory, any experiment, any achievement. They had each other, and in that moment, Jack and Professor Mara understood the most profound discovery of all. The mysterious bond they shared had changed their lives forever, and it would continue to guide them into the future, wherever it led. Months passed, and the world began to notice not just their scientific achievements, but the unusual synergy between Jack and Professor Mara. Colleagues whispered about their unspoken connection, the way they seemed to anticipate each other's thoughts, and how their combined creativity produced breakthroughs others could only dream of. But with recognition came scrutiny. One day, a rival scientist questioned the authenticity of their discoveries, suggesting that their success was luck rather than skill. Jack felt a familiar surge of anger and frustration. ready to defend everything they had built. Mara, calm and measured, placed a hand on his arm. "Jack," she said softly, "let them doubt us. We know the truth. We've changed each other, and that's something no one can challenge." Her words reminded him of everything they had been through together, the nights of frustration, the arguments that turned into laughter, the discoveries born from their combined minds. He realized she was right. Their bond was unshakable. That evening, as the lab emptied and the city lights shimmered through the windows, Jack and Mara stood side by side, reviewing their latest experiment. For the first time, they paused, not out of uncertainty, but out of reflection. "You know," Jack said quietly, "I never imagined my life would look like this. And I never imagined I'd meet someone who changes me so completely." Mara turned to him, her eyes soft but resolute. "Neither did I," she admitted. "But maybe that's what life is about, meeting the right person at the right time, and letting them change you in ways you never thought possible." In that moment, there were no words left to speak, only the shared understanding that their lives had been irrevocably transformed. One late night, as the lab lights cast long shadows across the room, Jack noticed Mara staring at a series of results with a look he had never seen before, a mix of wonder and disbelief. "What is it?" he asked, stepping closer. Mara turned slowly, eyes wide. It's bigger than we imagined," she whispered. "Our discovery, it's not just theoretical. It could actually change how people understand this entire field." Jack felt his heart race. For years, they had chased possibilities, struggled against doubts, and challenged each other endlessly. And now, the culmination of everything they had endured was right in front of them. But with greatness came risk. The potential of their work drew attention from people who wanted to exploit it, bend it for profit or prestige. For the first time, Jack and Mara faced a decision: share their discovery with the world and risk losing control, or protect it and risk it being forgotten. Mara looked at Jack, her expression serious yet calm. "We've always done this together. Whatever we choose, we face it side by side." Jack smiled, feeling the full weight of their bond. "Together," he echoed. In that moment, they realized something profound. Their lives had already been changed in ways no award, recognition, or scientific breakthrough could measure. The real discovery was each other, the trust, courage, and inspiration they had given one another. And as dawn broke over the city, the lab was no longer just a place of experiments. It was a testament to the power of connection, the kind that could ignite change, shape destiny, and transform to lives forever. The world outside their lab had grown louder, full of accolades, invitations, and whispers about their work. But inside, Jack and Mara had learned to tune out the noise. They had discovered something no recognition could capture: the depth of the bond that had grown between them, forged in sleepless nights, arguments, laughter, and shared discoveries. One evening, as rain streaked against the lab windows, Jack turned to Mara, holding a small device they had been perfecting for months. "This could change everything," he said, his voice trembling with excitement. Mara studied it carefully, then looked up at him with an intensity that made his heart skip. "It's not just about what it does," she said softly. "It's about what we've done together to make it possible. We've pushed each other farther than we ever could alone." Jack smiled, realizing the truth in her words. Their journey had never been just about science. It had been about growth, trust, and the courage to face the unknown together. Suddenly, an alert flashed across their computer screen. Their device had succeeded beyond expectation, producing results that neither had dared to hope for. They exchanged a glance. No words were needed. Every sleepless night, every challenge, every fear they had confronted together had led to this moment. As the city lights shimmered outside, Jack reached for Mara's hand. "We've changed more than the world," he said quietly. "We've changed each other's lives." Mara squeezed his hand in return. "And this is just the beginning," she replied. Together, they stood at the threshold of discovery and possibility, knowing that whatever came next, they would face it side by side. Their bond, mysterious, unbreakable, and transformative, was the true breakthrough of all. Months had passed since their groundbreaking discovery, and the world had begun to take notice. Awards, invitations, and headlines celebrated their achievement, but Jack and Mara barely paid attention. In the quiet of the lab, surrounded by the tools of their collaboration, they reflected on how far they had come. Then, one evening, As the lab's fluorescent lights hummed softly, a letter arrived, an invitation to present their work at the prestigious Global Innovation Summit. It was an opportunity that could launch them to worldwide recognition, but it also meant traveling to a place where expectations and scrutiny were unavoidable. Jack looked at Mara, eyes shining with excitement. "We could do this," he said. "We could show the world what we've built together." Mara hesitated, her mind racing through all the challenges they had overcome. "Yes," she finally said, "but let's remember why we started this. It wasn't for accolades, it was for discovery, for learning, and for each other. That's what truly matters." Jack nodded, taking her hand. "Then let's face it together." At the summit, as they presented their findings to a room filled with the world's brightest minds, something remarkable happened. The audience didn't just applaud their work, they felt the bond between them. Every word, every shared glance, every subtle gesture spoke of trust, courage, and a connection that transcended the lab. Afterward, as they stepped onto the quiet balcony overlooking the city, Jack turned to Mara. "We've changed the world," he said softly. Mara smiled, her eyes reflecting the lights below. "No," she corrected. "We've changed each other. And that's the discovery that will last forever." In that moment, they understood the full truth. Some bonds are more powerful than achievement, recognition, or even destiny. Their connection, mysterious, unbreakable, and transformative, had rewritten the story of their lives. And as the city glimmered below, Jack and Professor Mara knew one thing for certain: whatever came next, they would face it together, forever changed, and forever bound by the extraordinary journey they had shared. Years had passed since that first fateful encounter in the lab. Jack had grown into a confident, daring innovator, while Professor Mara had become a respected pioneer in her field. Their names were known across continents. But what truly defined their legacy was the bond they had forged, the bond that had transformed not only their lives but the very way they approached the world. One quiet evening, they returned to the lab where it all began. The familiar hum of machines, the scattered notes, and the chalkboard filled with equations brought a wave of nostalgia. Jack ran his fingers along the edge of the workbench. "It's funny," he said. "All this started because we crossed paths by chance." Mara smiled, leaning against the counter. "Not chance," she corrected. "The universe has its own way of bringing the right people together. And when it does, magic happens." They stood in silence for a moment, reflecting on sleepless nights, breakthroughs, arguments that turned into laughter, and the countless ways they had challenged and changed each other. Then Jack pulled out a small notebook and scribbled with ideas from years ago. "I kept it all," he said. "Every note, every failed experiment, every moment that taught me something new." Mara looked at him, eyes glistening. "We built more than discoveries," she said softly. "We built each other." As the sun rose outside the lab windows, casting golden light across the room, they realized that the story of their lives wasn't just about science or fame, it was about connection, trust, courage, and growth. The mysterious bond that had begun with curiosity had become their compass, guiding them forward into every new challenge, every unknown, every adventure. And in that quiet, profound moment, Jack and Professor Mara understood the truth that would stay with them forever. The greatest discoveries in life aren't found in laboratories or journals, they're found in the hearts of the people who change us in ways we never expected. Their journey together had ended one chapter, but their bond, mysterious and unbreakable, would continue to shape everything that came next.